Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Alright, so this spring for me has started off really good. It's been a really good last 2, 3, 4 weeks. Okay, so today I'm going to share a little story that some of you, probably a lot of you, have already heard. Maybe not though, and I think it's important, especially for people that are open-hearted, empaths, spiritual people, to understand. You need to understand your value. And there's actually a key to that. So I'm going to give you a little hint before I get to the story. The one thing that you eventually realize is that narcissists highly value you. They just don't want you to know that because they don't want you to know your value. In fact, their whole goal is to make you feel like you have no value. Therefore, they can have all of your value. So it's actually a pretty big mind game that's been played with you, from your family members to your friends to people you've been in relationships with your entire life. And we need to get you to see your value. And this story unlocked it for me. Now, the first time I heard this story, I didn't get it. I didn't really care. I think I was probably in a bad mood, and it kind of was like, yeah, whatever. And the thing is, I really missed the message. So here it is. It's told in slightly different ways, but you'll get the gist of it, okay? So I'm going to say it in my way. Okay, so here it is. So there was a father that was trying to teach his son a lesson. And you know what? I just realized it right now as I was thinking about it. A narcissist is trying to teach you the same lesson, just from the opposite perspective. So a father hands his son an old 200-year-old watch. And he says, take it down to the nearest jewelry store and tell them that I want to sell it. So that the boy goes down there and he shows them the watch and says, yeah, my father wants to sell this. So the shopkeeper looks at him and goes, oh, okay, I'll give you $50 for it because it's so old. And he comes back to his dad all excited, says, hey, they want to give us $50 for it. And the father goes, okay, fine. And then he says, now what I want you to do is I want you to go down to the pawn shop and tell them that I want to sell it. So he takes it down to the local pawn shop, which is like the one on TV. I think it's called Reno Pawn Shop or whatever. Maybe it's Las Vegas. But they deal in high-end stuff. So the pawn shop owner looks at it and goes, wow, this is a really nice watch. And he realizes the value of it, and he says, I'll give you, let's see, I think he said, I'll give you $5,000 for it. So the son excitedly hurried home and went to his father and says, Dad, they said he'll give us $5,000 for it. So the father goes, okay, that's fine. He goes, now what I want you to do is I want you to take this watch to the museum. So the little boy excitedly takes it down to the museum and tells them that his father wants to sell it. And they look at it and they're stunned. They're shocked at what watch the son had brought into them. And they looked at him and said, this will be a good addition to our collection for old watches. And so they said this would be a very good addition to our very rare antique collection. So they offered him $500,000. So the father looked at the son and said, what did you learn from this? And the father said, go where you're valued and walk away from those who don't value you. So after hearing this story, I walked away from my entire family. Now, I'm just kidding. I walked away from my family like 20 years before this. See, what you have to realize, okay, this is the lesson, is the people that don't value you, they're probably, they're probably jealous. They're very low-level people, and they don't want to value you, and they're never, ever going to value you. They're going to do everything in their power to destroy you, to destroy your self-esteem, your self-respect. They're going to try to get you to quit your dreams and anything that you do. Get around the people that highly value you and treat you the way the museum did that child's watch. If there's one lesson, if I could go back in time, say to when I was 15 years old or even 12 years old, if there was one lesson I would like to take with me, it's learning and understanding that some people, no matter how great you are at something, no matter how loving, kind, good, smart, intelligent, hardworking, they will never, ever in a billion, trillion, gazillion years, they will never respect you or value you. They will always treat you like the lowest person in the room. Now here's the interesting thing. The people that value you will highly respect you and value you. They will treat you well. Now here's the thing, is those people generally tend to value themselves. Narcissists have no respect for themselves, so they only want to surround themselves with other people that they think are beneath them. So my life has been a pretty interesting story when it comes to this, because I've experienced the extremes of both sides. It's like on the one hand, my family absolutely didn't value me, treated me like dirt, to this day, I realized about 20 some years ago, it's like no matter how nice, kind, loving, forgiving, understanding, compassionate, no matter how good I am to these people, they are never, ever, ever, ever going to be kind to me. It's not going to happen. And when I realized that, I moved. I literally made plans the very next day. It's like, I'm done. And I started looking. I think I moved probably within 45 days to 60 days. So here's the really weird thing. On the one hand, I'd go to kickboxing or boxing practice or whatever. These people highly valued me. The media would interview me. People would come up to me and ask me for my autograph. I remember I was in a grocery store and this father and his son walked up and said, "Hey, my fight name at the time was the White Knight." They go, "Hey, White Knight, can we get your autograph?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And my girlfriend at the time, she didn't even know I was a kickboxer. I had mentioned it, but she kind of rolled her eyes like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever." Like she didn't believe me. So I just never brought it up again. And when they walked away, she's like, "Why did they ask you for your autograph?" I'm like, "I told you I was a national champion in kickboxing, like for real." And then I'd go home and get treated like shit. So it was like this extreme left, I don't know how do you say this, left and right, or, respect and non-respect, etc. So one day I had just had it, and here's one thing I think you may relate to, is when you're around these people that treat you so well, it feels weird, almost like, why are they being so nice to me? Like it doesn't, because you weren't raised this way. It was kind of an experience that was kind of odd. The funny thing is, I had a coach, Jacob Stitch-Duran, who really loved me. He really was like, when he moved to Vegas, he invited me. He goes, "Mikey, you've got to move to Vegas." He goes, "You can come work at the gym. You can do this. You can train there." And I was like, oh, it was because I felt like, well, how do I explain this? I felt like it was too good to be true. Even all the years I fought under him, it was kind of this, like he treated me so good. He was like, "Man, you're awesome, Mikey." And I heard him say it, but I literally didn't believe it. So what eventually happened is I got abused so bad by some people that I thought, I would rather just be alone than put up with this bullshit. And I moved away from everyone. And then I cut off all my friends and all the people that treated me like crap because they weren't respecting me. And I was alone for a long, long time. But here's the weird thing, something that it taught me. It taught me to begin to stand up for myself, to respect myself, to realize that I do deserve good things. I do have value in this world. Because I stood up for me. That's the way it works. When you walk away from people, when you refuse to accept them in your life and accept their negativity and looking down on you, all of a sudden something inside you starts to feel really good because you chose your own side. Meaning, it's like there's two of you. There's you, and then there's the internal you. You stood up for the little person inside, which is the creative, emotional part, which was where you get your energetic power from. All of a sudden, you two became teammates, best friends, and you started to help each other. That power inside you is right there. All you have to do is start protecting it, defending it, standing up for it, walking away from negative people, etc., etc. And it realizes, oh wait, so-and-so's on my side now. Now it will open up to you, and now you begin this internal connection, which allows the energy and the information to flow from left to right, and all of a sudden you guys are on the same page, and that's where you get your power from. You open up to you once you begin to choose you, love you, and defend you. And this is when you begin to realize that you have value. You begin to realize your own value. The reason why that's important is because if you don't value yourself, if you don't realize your value, no matter how nice the good people are to you, you think it's weird and odd, like it doesn't match. Because it doesn't match. You have to match inside you first. See, the thing is, like, you do have value, tremendous value. And other people see it. If you don't see it, it's literally like you're blind to it. And you're like, why are they saying this to me? I mean, it sounds nice, but I mean, it's like something inside goes, nah, that's not my reality. I'm creating this video for you guys, but the inspiration comes from this young lady who, she highly values puppies, and she completely understands why people would take in a cute little puppy, a little dog, and love it and protect it and care for it and feed it. And I said, well, that's how they feel about you, and these people do, and she couldn't see it. And I said, these people would take care of you, they would help you, they would do something for you. And she goes, why? I'm a human. And I was like, whoa. It was like she valued puppies over humans. Not that she valued over humans, but she felt like, well, yeah, but I think she even said, well, but why? I'm just a human. I think that's what she said. And I'm like, just a human. You know, it actually made me tear up and made me really sad. And I've done some work. We did this, what's called mapping, as a technique to get her to match up her with the value of how she values puppies. I'm not going to go into that right now. I made a video about that already. But the goal is, once someone can see their own beauty, their own love, their own value, their own the reason why people are attracted to them, all of a sudden the door opens and they can receive it. That's why I made this video. And that's what most of my coaching work is about. Not just, see, look, in fact, in the very beginning, I go, well, what are you talking about? I go, Ann, you are just as beautiful as that puppy. These people love you. And the thing is, people love this girl to death. And I'm just like, I should say young lady. And I'm like, how do you not see it? People would stop in the middle of what they're doing at the grocery store. They were in a hurry, and they had like the blinders on, like blocking the world out. And boom, when she walked up, oh, hi, how are you doing? And the whole world stopped, and everything was about her. And I pointed this out. She goes, man, you know what people do? I'm like, Ann, they do it at your job. They do it everywhere we went. And for the life of her, she was looking at me like, what are you talking about? Like, she couldn't see it until I really broke it down. And the thing is, like, I could have talked to her till I was blue in the face saying, oh, you have value, you have value. It wasn't until we did the NLP techniques to shift her submodalities and use that mind mapping, or not mind mapping, but mapping technique, she started to see it. So read this right here. If something is right for you, it will give you energy. That's how you know. It'll just feel good. You'll feel light. You'll feel happy. You'll feel energized. And that's how you should feel when you walk away from someone, from a friend, from a family member. If you're not feeling good 99% of the time, maybe not 90, I would say 9 out of 10 times, you may think about and pay attention, like, what's the energy with this person? So start paying attention. The one thing I can tell you right now, I always tell you guys, there's definitely, I don't like to use this phrase, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. My first thing is like, get the hell out of the tunnel and get into the light. I will tell you, there is a great reward at the other end of this. It's like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Or in my case, at the end of the Golden Gate Bridge. Here I come. I'm coming for my pot of gold, my pot of love, and my pot of awesome. Isn't she beautiful? Moral of the story, go where you are valued, where people highly value you, love you, and treat you very, very well. And you may have to go through a stage where you get away from people first, because here's another lesson, another key is if you're around people that are extremely negative and hurtful and mean, good people, once they start meeting these people, so they may like you and value you, but when they start seeing the people that you surround yourself with and like, oh, because okay, I'm going to tell you right now, let's say I meet someone who's a really cool person and they're surrounded by narcissists. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be around this. No, thank you. That's part of one of the lessons is people are going to be like, well, who do you surround yourself with? If you're around a bunch of negative, mean people, they're going to be like, yeah, I don't want to be around these people. So if you've been saying to yourself, oh, I don't have any good friends, it's like because you have to get rid of the bad friends. You have to get away from them. So there may be an isolation period where you're alone for a while. Now, here's the really good news. I promise you, you'll start seeing and meeting the good people. They're there. See, you'll start feeling people's energy, and not only that, but you won't just blindly accept people into your life. Okay, so I'm going to say I met one, and I'm still watching this person like, man, this is just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And so the thing about it is like, wow, I really like this person. But then when I come home, my brain goes, wait a minute, Mike, you've been down this road before. So my brain does kind of go over our conversations of things they've said. I'm like, okay. So it's not, I guess one of the lessons we learn is you pay attention. You get to know who that person is for who they are. Not just this blind, oh, everyone's a good person. No, they're not. So you start to see things in a fuller way, and you start to realize, okay, this is a good person, this is not a good person. So here it is, and I would write this down. Walk away from bad, walk towards good. This simplifies everything. Life is short. It's time to enjoy it. If you need coaching, if you need energy healing, let me know. I can help you shift inside so your outside begins to shift as well. Get a hold of me. Go to mike@mikekollin.com. That's my email. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the subscribe button. Go ahead and click like. Go ahead and make a comment. And if you want, you can always go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. All right, God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.